Hi, everybody. It's good to be back here. Like my name is Tosin Godwin, and I just love to motivate people, to inspire people, and to make people believe in themselves that you don't have to give up yet. Don't give up. Nothing should make you give up. Believing in yourself. That is what I've come to do again today. And today is so emotional for me because I want to share my story, my process, where I started from. This man you see here started with sleeping on the floor for months. Those are the things I want to share with you. That you can't give up, you can't give up yet. So if you're in Nigeria, you're in Africa, you're in America, you're in Europe, wherever you might be, I want you to listen to me, alright? Alright, so let's start this way. I graduated with a very good grade from the university. I was very intelligent. I had a lot of skills. I was very skillful. And I was an entrepreneur. I started serving in 2014. So 2014, 2015, I was serving. While serving, I had access to allowances. I was also working as an entrepreneur. I was selling different kinds of products like wristwatches, etc. to have extra source of income. I was also into music. I played musical instrument and I trained people. All of these things were things I was doing. There was this month or this period where for 2 good months, federal government did not pay our allowance. And then I went broke because the extra source of income were not enough. I went broke, guys. And then I started borrowing or requesting from my lodge mates that were staying in the same lodge to borrow me for some time that I was going to pay back. So the first month went, the second month was going, and I was broken. So I had borrowed money to that extent where I was so ashamed of myself to go back to same people to borrow money again. I had borrowed from everybody. No food at home. I was in a strange land. I had no relatives I could go to. I was broke, guys. Then it came to this point where, this blessed day, I was playing the keyboard in my room, but I was hungry. I kept playing. I played the keyboard and played the keyboard to a level that the hunger was so much that in my head, I was feeling irritated that what kind of music are you producing? That's the power of hunger. I got hungry that I threw the keyboard away. And I said to myself, hey Tosin, I will not come and die in this room. So I started thinking, how can I make sure I eat today? How can I do it? So somehow I went out. And as I went out, I started strolling and I started thinking, where and how will I do it to get food, to get money? So my head started thinking, let's go and beg. A thought said, let's go and beg. Let's go and beg for money. So I thought of it, oh, that's true. So I went back home, dressed up. I used the best dress I had. I took my NYC ID card and I went to, there's this bank in my area. So I went to the bank and I started begging. My intention was, if they know that I'm a graduate, I'm a serving corps member, I'm intelligent, I'm learned, that they would probably listen to me. So I went beside the bank and I started begging. Hello sir, anybody that I see that withdraws, I go to meet that person. Hello sir, my name is Tosin Godwin, I'm a graduate, I'm serving, but I'm broke, I'm hungry, can you please help me with some money? I begged the first person, I begged the second person, I begged the third person, begged the fourth person, begged the fifth person, begged the sixth person, and all of them were just looking at me and laughing at me, making jest of me. Wow, what a life. What a life. But I didn't give up. So the 8th person stopped and said to me, you're a graduate and you are begging, you're a fool. Ooh! So the ninth person, the 10th person, and luckily the 10th person listened to me and gave me 1,000 naira. And then he said to me, never in your life beg for money again. I cried. I took the money home. I went home and so from that level, I graduated as a corps member, and after graduation, there was no place to stay. I decided that day that I was never going to beg again and that I will never go back to my parents' house. So after service year, I stayed back in Ibadan. And staying back, I had no place to stay. But I had a friend, so I went to squat with him, to stay with him. So on staying with him, 2016, he went home for Christmas in 2015, and in 2016 when he was coming back, he called me and said, Tosin, I'm coming back to Ibadan, but while coming back now, I'm coming to pack my things. I've decided to go back home. His house rent was to expire in March. Don't forget I told you I was squatting with him. So when he came back, he packed his things and he left. And he told me, if you're interested in this room, it was a room, pay the house owner and keep using it. So I said, all right. That period, guys, I had no job. I had nothing. I was working hard, looking for jobs, submitting CVs everywhere, no job. So March came. The landlord sent a letter of reminder that I had just about 2 weeks left to leave the house or renew my rent. I was having no money. To cut the long story short, he sent me out of the house. The day he sent me out of the house, I had no place to go to. So I packed my bags rather, and everything I had, and I was ready to leave the house. My intention was to go to the street or just to look for anywhere. And so as I was leaving the compound, one of the tenants called me. I said, hey, Tosin, where do you want to go stay? I said, I don't know. So he called me. This man lives in a room. He has a wife with a daughter. And then he called me to come stay with him. I told him I was not going to stay with him. He told me, come on, it's fine. So I agreed. So I kept my things in his place. The first night, I decided to sleep in the room. But guys, this man is a married man. His wife was in the same room with him, with his daughter. That night was not funny. I could not hold it. I endured, because I knew it was not comfortable for the couple. They wanted to, but I was there. I was interfering. So the next night, when it was night, the next day, I told him it was around 10 p.m. He came out. Hey, Tosin, come in, it's late. I told him, oh, sir, don't worry. I just want to take some time to study, to read, to do some things. And he said, come on, you can do it inside, there's light. I said, don't worry. Guys, 11 p.m., 12 a.m., I was still outside. He came out again and said, come on, Tosin, come in, it's 12 a.m. I said, sir, don't worry, I'm fine. Guys, I was outside. Mosquitoes were giving me the beating of my life. And I decided I would keep staying outside until I have an apartment. So, to cut the long story short, that was how I started sleeping on the corridor of a face me, I face you apartment. For 1 good month, I was sleeping on the corridor of an apartment. That was when I began to sleep with mosquitoes. That was when I began to sleep with rats and cockroaches. And that was when I began to see the mystery in ants. I saw the way ants by 2 a.m., by 3 a.m. were still awake, looking for food. That was when I discovered that sleep is not necessarily what you need. I studied the ants that period. They were always awake. So I told myself, I will be awake until I define my life. What is my vision? What do I want in life? What? That was when I became so aggressive. That was when I became so that period of my life, I will fast and pray. End up the fasting and prayers of days with no food. Most times I ended up on taking Gary. So there was this day, after fasting and praying, I called one of my friends who was not in Ibadan, and he said, "Oh, Tosin, are you still in Ibadan?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Oh, I have a room apartment that the rent has not, the rent was still active. Would I like to go there?" I said, "Wow, yes." So after a month, that was how I got an apartment. This guy had spent 6 months, and it was just like 6 months left. So I took over his apartment. But guys, things were still not rosy. These were the periods I would borrow money. The people that were selling things on the street, I would buy things on debt. I would fast and pray and end up with Gary and sugar. I begged for food. Those were the days I would go to people's house to just beg them to clean their house, to just sweep their floor, so that I could get food to eat. But do you know that the most interesting part of this story is that I never for once gave up on myself. I never stopped believing in myself. Those were the periods I was studying the most wealthy people. That was the period I was studying wealthy people, trying to understand how did they create their wealth. That was the period I was understanding the mystery of money. That was when I began to study and study and study and study. Oh, guys, I have suffered. Many nights I go to sleep without food. Many days I go to just beg. So there was this day I was going to, there's a place I study. While coming back, I saw someone that was doing laundry and dry cleaning. So I went to him and said, "Sir, I'm ready to wash for you. I'm ready to iron for you." And he said, "You look like a learned person the way you talk. Can you do this job?" I said, "Yes, I can." So I started washing for him. I started ironing for him. That was how I started. So while doing that job, I discovered that this man had a problem with his marketing area. He was doing a very great job, but people were not patronizing him. So I started working on how can we have more clients? It was a problem. So when I saw the problem, I began to study on marketing. I never studied marketing. I never knew anything about marketing. So I started studying marketing. And in my first month, I expanded the business of this man by 100%. Oh, my first month. And then that was when I began to see 30,000 naira in my bank. I began to see 25,000 naira. The other persons that were working with him were earning like 10,000 naira in a month. But when I came in, I was ironing, I was washing, but I saw a problem, so I started solving a problem. This was where and how my breakthrough started. Solving problems. The fastest way to get promoted in life is to look for problems to solve. Listen, today is history. It's not yet time for me to share my success story, but I just want to motivate you. What is it that is making you give up? What is it that is making you cry? What is it that is making you think that the world is against you? Hey, that's a big lie from the pit of hell. You are the master of your life. You are the driver of your life. You can do anything you decide to. I don't know, I'm saying these things in simple English that you don't have to give up, guys. That success is just in front of you. You've got to keep pushing it. You've got to keep pushing it. You've got to keep pushing it. If you don't give up, you will get it. But you know what? In your struggles, in your time of process, you need to look for the problems to solve. Only men that solve problems become wealthy. If you can solve problem today, if you can solve problem today, if you can solve problem today, you will change your life. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Your landlord may send you out of your house today, but don't give up. Your friends may laugh at you today. Don't give up. You might not have what it takes to become or to be among the led. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Keep believing in yourself. Keep believing in yourself. Keep looking for the problems to solve. If you can do this, guys, trust me, you will become great. I love you. This is where I'm going to stop today. I am Tosin Godwin. I'm a business strategist today. I've been able to help a lot of people transform their lives because I didn't give up. See you in my next video. I love you.